Hi, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. It is so good to see everybody. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of your Saturday. I've got a fun project for you guys that I think that you guys are really going to like. I'm going to give you kind of like an insider trick, insider secret, if you will, to how a lot of the beaded tassel things that you see that are for sale are actually put together. There are so many different ways to make a tassel, whether you're using cord or whether you're using jump rings, or there's a lot of different ways that you can do this. But I have found that for the most part, when it comes to purchasing tassels that are pre-made, a lot of them, and I've dissected quite a few, are put together this way. And it's a really cool way to put together a tassel, but also can be used as a multi-strand design. I'll try to explain that a little bit. Sometimes that's a little bit further out there and may deserve a class all on its own, but I'm going to try to explain and show you how you can make that connection with the exact same technique that we're going to be using today to create these earrings. Now, that being said, I'm a big earrings kind of person. The bigger, the better when it comes to earrings, but a lot of people are not. A lot of other people do not feel the same way about earrings that I do. So that being said, this project can also be turned into a pendant. It doesn't have to be earrings at all. They are rather large when they are finished. So if you feel like this would be better suited to be a necklace, a pendant, or just a focal to another beaded design, then please feel free to use it that way. You don't have to do things exactly the way that I'm doing it. Please just let this be your inspiration and you take it and run with it. Okay. All right. So I'm going to turn you guys around and we're going to get started right away with how to do this and what we need to make it work. All right, so I'm going to be using some Beadalon Wildfire, and I'm using the green for this. I'm using the 0.006. You can use the 0.006 or the 0.008. It's completely up to you. I like to use the green because it disappears. I know that seems a little weird since our beads are kind of a teal turquoisey blue color. But the green really is kind of a camouflage green, and it does disappear and you really don't even see it when you're finished. So you're going to need about 36 inches of this. You want to go ahead and cut that with some scissors and have it ready to go. You're going to need a beading needle. I'm going to thread our needle here in just a second. Then you're going to need your regular tools, just a cutter tool, and then of course your standard sets of pliers. So I've got 2 pairs of chain nose pliers and my round nose pliers. Have those on hand. Scissors, of course. I'm going to be using some of these really beautiful Czech seed beads. These are from John Bead, available at Michael's in a bunch of different colors. I'm using the 10-0 in Beauty Blue, which is a very beautiful turquoise. And then for our accents for this, I have mine. You'll have to forgive me. Mine are in a bag because I've used so many of these. But a lot of you who have taken classes with me before know that I love the cards, the hanging cards of beads that have rondelles or round beads that are in like 4 different sizes. That's what these are. And of course, the link is in your handout, so you can get these exact ones if you want to, but they come in a lot of different sizes, which means that you can use them for a lot of different projects. As you can tell, this is what I have left over, and I've used those 4 strands on that single card for numerous projects. I'm using the smallest ones, so the smallest little rondelles, you're going to need 10 of those, and then the next step up in size is going to go at the top of our tassel. But you can use these however you want to. And you can use whichever sizes you want to as well. You're also going to need a singular larger bead. So we're using a 10-0 seed bead for our project, but we're going to need a stop bead. And our stop bead can be a size 6, a size 8. It's really up to you. Just grab a bead that you've got laying around that is bigger than the seed beads that you're using for your actual tassel. Okay. Let's see. You're going to need an ear wire. You're going to need some of these bead caps. I'm using these really pretty filigree bead caps to top off the top of our tassel and hide all of the mess, because there is a mess when it comes to seed beads. It's not necessarily a mess, but it's not exactly pretty either. And this is a great way to cover that up. But any bead cap is going to work. And then let's see, what is the other thing I feel like? Oh, wire. The most important part of this is going to hold everything together is going to be your 22 gauge wire. Now, if you've only got 20 or 24, feel free to use those if you want to. But I am using 22 gauge. I'm using German style wire. You're only going to need about 3 to 4 inches of this. I definitely have cut way more than that, but I'm one of those people who always has more just in case. So that's actually where we're going to get started. So before we thread our needle, let's go ahead and take care of our wire, because this is really going to be the core, if you will, to our design. So we're going to create a wrapped loop with our wire, and we want this loop to be pretty small. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down from the end of the wire, and we're going to come down about an inch, inch and a half, something like that. Okay. We're going to grab that with our chain nose pliers, and we're going to give the wire a bend, just a really sharp bend. Okay. Now we're going to come in with our round nose pliers, and again, I want to keep this loop small as I can get it. Okay. So, I mean, it doesn't need to be down here at the very tip, but you do want to make this a very small loop, probably smaller than a 4 millimeter. Okay. So we're going to go up and over the top barrel of the round nose pliers. And now we need to take the wire all the way over to close up that loop, but we can't because the bottom barrel of the pliers is in the way. So I'm just going to rotate those pliers, and then I'm going to take the wire over to the other side. Okay. Now I'm going to wrap about 3 times. So essentially what we're making is just a wrapped loop eye pin. I'm going to come in with my cutter tool, and I'm going to trim off the excess wire. And now we're ready to get started. Okay. So for now, you just want to sit this to the side. We're going to go ahead and we're going to thread our needle. So I use, you can use either a size 10 or a size 12 beading needle. I find that either one will work for this project. You're going to go ahead and cut your Wildfire. And to make it easier to thread your needle, I like to take my pliers and I will just kind of chomp down on the end of that Wildfire, and you can see it flattens it out. Makes it very, very thin. And that makes it so much easier to thread your needle. I got it first try. So if you've never done that before, I definitely recommend trying that out because it saves so much time when you're threading your needle. Okay. So now the first thing we want to do is we want to take that stop bead. Remember the larger seed bead that's just the single? We want to take this bead and we want to thread it onto our needle. And we want to bring it down to the end of our piece of Wildfire. Leave yourself a couple of inches for a tail, okay? And then you want to take your needle and thread and you want to go back through that bead in the same direction that your thread was running out of and just kind of loop it around. So what you've made is a little stop bead. If you pull on it, it is going to slide up and down your thread, but for the most part, it's pretty stationary, and that's exactly what we want. We don't want it to slip and slide around. So we're not going to pull on it extra hard or anything like that, but we do need that. And the goal here is to make sure that your stop bead is bigger than the loop that you created on the end of your wire, because this stop bead is going to sit right up against that loop. That's what's going to keep our thread end from sliding out. Okay, so we are going to pick up our wrapped loop eye pin that we made. We're going to take our needle and we're going to thread it through that loop. And we're going to pull all the thread until that stop bead sits right up against that loop. Okay. Now we're going to use our seed beads. And I'm going to dump out a pile of my seed beads here. So the most time that is used in this project is just from threading the seed beads. Okay, that part takes the longest amount of time. Everything else goes together pretty quickly, but you are going to spend a little bit of time with this part. So I'm going to pick up 25 seed beads, okay, on my needle. So I'm just going to do that now. There's 5. 10. 15. 20. Okay, so we've picked up 25 seed beads. We're going to pull those down, and they need to be pretty close. They don't have to be right up against it just this second, but we're going to pick up 25 seed beads. We're going to bring them down close to where our loop is. Okay, now we want to pick up, remember our beautiful little rondelles here. We want to pick up one of the rondelles. Now remember, we're using 10 of the small rondelles, so the smallest ones. Okay, and we're going to drop that down, and then we're going to pick up one more seed bead. Okay, and we want to drop that seed bead down right next to that rondelle. Now what we want to do is we want to turn around and thread back up through all of these beads. So to do that, what we're going to do without losing our beads is we're going to take our needle and thread, and we're going to skip over that last seed bead that we added. Okay, and that will function again as like a little stop bead, kind of like this bead here. We're going to go up through the rondelle. Remember, skip over the first seed bead, go up through the rondelle. And you also want to go back up through with your needle and thread all 25 of the seed beads. And you don't have to do them all at once. Do as many as you can, right? Back up through all of those. Okay. Now, when you get to that last seed bead, you also want to go through your loop. So I didn't get through there. Hold on. I'm going to go back through your wrapped loop, and then you want to pull. And as you pull, you might want to hold on down here at the bottom, pull out all of the slack. You're going to pull those seed beads right up to that loop and pull out any of the remaining wildfire. So now you've got one strand of your tassel ready. And now we're on the other side of this loop, right? And we're going to do another strand. So our thread, our needle and thread, just kind of move your tail out of the way. Unfortunately, we need it, so we can't get rid of it at the moment, but we need to pick up seed beads again. So we're going to do 25 seed beads. There's 5. $10. 15. 20. 25. We're going to bring those down. Okay, and you'll see they're on the other side of our wrapped loop here. We're going to pick up one of the rondelles, and we're going to pick up a seed bead. Bring all those down, and then we're just going to repeat what we did on the other side. So we're going to take our needle and thread, we're going to skip over that seed bead, the last one that we added, and we're going to take our needle and thread and go back up through all of the beads. Okay, so when you get up to the top, then you want to take your needle and thread and again go through the wrapped loop so that we're going back over to the other side. And then you want to pull. Okay, so now it kind of looks like little legs, and that's basically what we're doing. We're going to do 5 little legs on one side and 5 little legs on the other side so that we have a total of 10 when we're finished. Okay, so we've got 2 done. We're going to keep going. We're going to do the whole thing here, so just hold on tight. Okay, we're going to pick up another 25 seed beads. Okay, there was 10. 20. 5. So there's 25. Bring those down. We're going to pick up one of our little rondelles and another seed bead. We're going to drop those down. Okay. Skip over the seed bead that you just added. Take your needle and thread, go back up through. All of your seed beads here. Okay, and then when you get to the top of all of those seed beads, you got to go back through your wrapped loop again. Now, something to mention is that the more of these little legs, these little beaded legs that we're making, the more that there are, the tighter that fit between that wrapped loop is going to be. And it's not really that it's tight, it's just that it's a little bit harder to get to because all of the beads that you're working with are kind of crowding out where you can easily see it. So you may have to pick it up and kind of look at it really closely to get your needle and thread back through it, but you want to be sure that every single time you definitely are passing through that loop. If you don't, your tassel will fall apart. So make sure that when you get to the top of all the beads that you definitely take that needle and thread back through the loop going to the other side. Okay. All right. We're ready to pick up some more. So we're picking up 25 again. There's 10. 20. And 5. Drop those down. Pick up your rondelle and another seed bead. Drop those down. All right, skip over that seed bead and take your needle back up through your rondelle and all 25 of your seed beads. Okay, and when you get to the top, again, go through that loop to go to the other side of the wrapped loop. And we're ready to pick up 25 again. There's 10. 20. And 5. Okay, drop those down. Pick up your rondelle, another seed bead, pull those down, skip over your seed bead, and take your needle and thread back up through all the beads you just added. And be sure that you pass your needle and thread through the wrapped loop. You can see how things are starting to take shape here, right? So we're halfway done. We've got 5 of the little legs. We need 5 more so that we have a total of 10. Okay, we're going to pick up 25 seed beads. There's 10. 20. 5. Rondelle and a seed bead. Okay, we're going to take our needle and thread, turn back around, skip over that seed bead, back up through all of our beads and through our loop. Pull. Okay, we're ready to keep going. So 25 more. Just 10. 20. 5. Rondelle. If I can catch one. And a seed bead. Okay. Skip over your seed bead. Turn around and go back up through. And then make sure you're passing through the wrapped loop. Pull. Okay, we've got 4 more to go. Work these up as quickly as we can. So 25 more seed beads. There's 10. 20. 5, a rondelle, and a seed bead. Okay, skip over the seed bead, back up through all of the beads. Okay, and through the wrapped loop. Oh, I missed it that time. Got to be sure you get through there. Okay, and pull. And notice I'm not pulling things super, super tight, right? I want to be sure that I'm leaving everything fairly loose so that everything has a really nice drape. I don't want all of these to be like sticking out stiff, right? I want to keep as much drape as possible. With beaded tassels, a lot of times the longer they are, the more drape they have. But when we're looking at making earrings and we don't want them to be like shoulder dusters, then because we're not using nearly as many beads, we can't make them long. We really have to focus on the tension with our thread and making sure that it's nice and loose. Not so loose that there are big gaps between our beads, but we have to make up the difference, right? Where we can't have length, we got to make up the difference by making sure that our thread stays fluid. Okay, so I'm going to pick up 25 more seed beads. There's 10. 20. 5, a rondelle, and a seed bead. We're almost done. We've got 2 more after this one. Okay, we're going to skip over the seed bead, go back up through all of our beads. Just go slow when you're going back up through. You don't have to do them all at once. I know I said that before, but you really don't have to go through every bead all in one pass. Okay, get to the top, make sure you go through the loop and pull. If you see you've got extra, hold on to that bottom seed bead and then kind of pull out the slack. Okay, all right, last two. So we're going to pick up 25 seed beads. There's 10. There's 20. And 5. Gosh, the wind is blowing like crazy and it's blowing the shutters on the outside of the house. Okay. Now skipping over our seed bead, going back up through. Okay, so there's all the seed beads. And now we're going to go through our loop. And you can see, look, see how first you can see how loose I'm keeping the thread, but second, you can see how full that wrapped loop is becoming with all of that thread passing back and forth through it. And our thread is running kind of short now. So we have just enough to finish our last strand here. Okay, so this is our last 25. There's 10. $20. There's 5. Our rondelle, the last of the small little rondelles, and a seed bead. Okay. Now we're going to skip over our seed bead and go up one last time through all of our beads. Our needle and thread. My thread's getting short, so I can't do all of them all at once. That's okay. You might even need to bend your needle a little bit. This is how all my needles get bent. Trying to get into these little spaces when I'm running out of thread. Hold on, let me see if I can pull my tail up through here. There we go. That helps a little bit. Get the tail, it was stuck in there. Okay, so I'm going up through these last couple of beads. Okay, and then I'm going back through one last time, going through that wrapped loop. Pull out all the slack here. All right, so we have all of the little legs of our tassel. So now we need to secure all of this. So what we're going to do is we are going to first take your needle off of the end of your thread. And then we need to take our stop bead off. You can leave your stop bead if you've got room for it, but I feel like I do better if I take it off. I don't have to cram it up inside that bead cap or cone or whatever it is that you're going to be using to cover the top of your tassel. So just take it off. Okay, so now what you want to do once you've gotten that off of there is you just want to take these two threads, right? You've got your tail from your working end and the tail from where you started, and you just want to tie these together with a couple of really good knots. I do surgeon's knots, so I loop around twice. I'm just going to pull that down nice and tight. I'm going to do that a couple of times just so that I know that it's nice and secure. Nothing's going to come undone. Okay. All right. And now we're going to trim that off. So you want to come in with your scissors. You're going to trim. And you can leave, see how I have little sprigs of thread left? I'm going to leave those. They're fine. Okay. All right. So now turn it all over and kind of comb down, just kind of coax all of the little strands down. Okay, now we have a head pin ready to go. Well, it was an eye pin, but now we have a piece of wire that we can do whatever we want to with. At this point, now you can add another bead. You can get crazy. You can make decorations. I'm going to tuck all of mine into this bead cap. So I'm going to take my little bead cap cone. I'm going to thread my, my wire through there. And then I'm just going to sit that down on top of the tops of all of the tops of our beads there. And then I'm going to thread on that larger bicone. I'm sorry, not bicone, rondelle. And now I'm going to just do a wrapped loop and add our ear wire and we're done. I'll show you real quick after we do this though, how to turn this into a multi-strand design instead of an earring, like a multi-strand necklace or a multi-strand bracelet. I'll just give you the rundown really quickly, but let's finish our earring first. So I'm taking our chain nose pliers, grabbing the wire right where it is exiting the rondelle. Yes, rondelle. I'm going to give the wire a bend. I'm going to come in with my round nose pliers. Okay, I'm going up and over. Rotate the pliers so that I can take the wire over to the other side. And then I'm just going to wire wrap in that space between our loop and the top of our bead. I'm going to come in with my cutter tool and trim off. And the only thing left to do is just add our ear wire. And the earrings are complete. Now let me show you super quick before we go, just for a little bonus inspiration. Okay, so there's our earring. So pretty. So pretty. Or it could be a pendant, right? A focal. Okay, so let me show you really quickly. If you are going to use this exact same technique, and I'll go quick so I won't keep you around, but I definitely think this is worth you guys seeing. So I'm going to very, very quickly, remember how we started with our 22 gauge wire and a wrapped loop. So we're going to start out exactly the same way, but we're going to start out with 2 of these. Okay, so again, I'm working really quickly here. Okay, so there's one, and we're going to need another one. Okay. So there's our second. Okay, so if we were going to make a multi-strand design, we would start out with 2, and you still want a nice long piece of your Wildfire. You can always add cord or thread to this later. I'm going to re-thread my needle real quick. Okay. Nice and flat with my pliers makes it much easier. Sometimes it still takes a little finessing, but it's, try again. Sorry, I told you. Sometimes it works, sometimes it needs a second little mush with your pliers. Okay. All right, so we would start out exactly the same. Okay, we're going to thread on our stop bead just like before. Bring your stop bead to the end, go back through it a second time. Okay, take your needle and thread through one of those wrapped loops. Bring your stop bead up. Okay, now instead of making a single strand and going up through our single strand, we're talking about making maybe a multi-stranded bracelet or a multi-stranded drop for the front of a necklace. So we would pick up our seed beads. And again, I'm just doing the abbreviated version of this. So I don't even know how many seed beads I'm picking up here. We're just gonna pick up several just to kind of show you. It's not quite enough to make my point here. So just bear with me while I pick some more of these up. Okay, so let's pretend like we did 7 inches worth for a bracelet, right? Okay, so now we would take our needle and thread. We're going to go through the loop on the other one, right? Again, you have to envision this as longer, much longer, bracelet length, okay? Now, you're going to pick up the same amount of seed beads. Whatever that might be, to make your 7 inches of your bracelet or the inches of your drape. And maybe you want them to be a drape. If it's a neck or if it's a bracelet, you probably want them all to be the exact same length. If you're going to do a necklace that drapes, you're going to start short and build longer each time you go back and forth. But basically, you're doing the same thing, okay? But you're making a circle between your 2 loops with your thread and your beads. Now, I know right this second that may not make a whole lot of sense, but let me give you the visual for this. So, okay, say I've got the same amount for the second strand. I'm going to take my needle and thread, passing through the loop, or wrapped loop, okay? Now we have 2 strands, and we would go back and forth like that to make our design a multi-strand design, right? And then at the end, you would cap it here and you would cap it here. So you've bundled and covered up your ends, and then you do your little wrapped loop and add your hardware. Does that make sense? So it kind of looks like, really kind of looks like this. So you've got your wrapped loop here, your wrapped loop here. You're going to go through and then back through. So you're just going to build up your multi-strands, right? And then when you pull these, then it lays flat with your multi-strand designs. You put your cap here, do your wrapped loop, your cap here, and do your wrapped loop. And you've got both ends of your multi-strand design are secured within a wrapped loop of wire and then covered up with whatever it is that you're going to cover it up with. So a tassel topper or a cone or whatever it is that you have. It's the exact same technique as the earrings, but instead of it being a single strand, it's a continuous strand that's just running between these 2 loops. And when you're finished, it looks like a multi-strand design. I hope that makes sense to you guys, because I feel like kind of demystifying multi-strand designs with seed beads is one of those things that a lot of people don't know how to do. And it really is the exact same technique as you would for a tassel. And I think that makes things a whole lot easier once you can kind of wrap your brain around that. It took me a while to get it, but once you work it out, you see all of a sudden you've got 10 wonderful strands here. And then, you've got wire, and you can do anything with your wire. You can add caps to it, wrap it around, add your hardware, and you're done. So, all right, I'm going to turn you guys around. We're going to take a different look at these earrings as they are hanging. They definitely look different when you've got them hanging and up next to your face, right? So I'll put one of these on. And of course you want to double this, like you want to repeat this entire process to make the mate for this if you're going to do the earrings. So you can see how pretty those turn out, right? And you can adjust the length on them. You can make them shorter if you want to. You can make them longer if you want to. A lot of different things that you can do. You can change up the tops of them. A lot of options. Looks like I got one that was a little bit longer than the rest of them. It happens. They're not always perfect, but all right. Thank you so much, you guys, for joining me. I really appreciate you hanging out with me this Saturday. I hope that I have inspired you, and I hope that I have shared with you an easy way to make some tassels. Tassels are wonderful, not just for jewelry, but for a lamp pull. I have a couple in my house where you have to pull the cord on the lamp. A tassel is a wonderful accent to that, or around your home decor. your drapes, you can always put little tassels on the tie backs of your drapes. So tassels work all over the place, not just in jewelry, and are definitely one of those things that are here to stay. So to learn how to make them with beads and without beads, I think is a great skill to have in your jewelry making and your crafting arsenal. So I appreciate it, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and I will see you guys again soon with another fun class. Bye, guys.